What's going on YouTube? What's going on Facebook? Thank you guys for being here so much. I appreciate y'all greatly. And the story of the day here, let me just adjust this a little bit. I want to talk about is John Hopkins put out a study that shows the impact that they claim that lockdowns had in US and Europe. And they're saying it had little to no public health impact when it comes to mortality rate. We'll get into that. But they do cite some of the devastating impacts to economy, but I want to talk about the psychological impacts as well. But long story short, we'll read what they say. We all kind of figured this out 2 years ago here, got censored for it, got demonetized, fact checked a bunch of times saying lockdowns are so great, don't talk against them. Now we have a report to back us up. And the second story is CNN's Jeff Zucker, the CEO, has stepped down. Pretty big deal. We're going to read why that happened. And that's what it is. Real quick, I have like really bad OCD. I just have my shirt there. I didn't even realize. And I'm like, I got to move that because it's going to bother me the whole stream. I apologize. This is not a CNN studio here. This is live in the living room. But, jokes aside, I do want to say some good news too. And I guess I'll start with that right now is that these people at CNN, I don't wish for their downfall or anybody's downfall personally, but as far as a news network, they're so wicked, they're so dishonest, they're always trying to censor everybody else, they never self-reflect. And this is a crazy stat that Tucker Carlson apparently got more Democrat viewers in the 25 to 54 age range than his competitors on other networks. So we know that, and I'm not like a massive Fox News fanatic, but we know that people are tuning into more conservative, more honest news. And Tucker Carlson's not only beating them in the Republican category, but he's beating them in Democrat demographics. More Democrats are watching Tucker Carlson ages 25 to 54 than even the Democrat platform. So this is just a major failing from CNN, major failing from the mainstream media, major failing from the government of Canada. And instead of taking accountability even a little bit, they're just always blaming, always finding a scapegoat. And if you want a trucker story, I interviewed truckers. I interviewed 2 hours worth of Canadians, and I'm going to put that out tomorrow. I'm exhausted. I was just out playing football, but in general, it's like I'm exhausted thinking about all the editing I have to do tomorrow. But I want to get you guys that story tomorrow. The truckers, straight from the mouth of the truckers in Canada. You already know I got some great interviews for you. Let's start with the first story, though, before I get ahead of myself. I'm always getting ahead of myself, aren't I? This is I got NBC local news and I got Washington Times to balance it out left and right just to give you an idea. So let's start with NBC local Fox News. I guess what NBC and Fox, what do they collaborate or something for this 25 NBC News? I got it. Okay. Study says that COVID-19 lockdowns in US and Europe had little to no public health impact. A study by Johns Hopkins University, which by the way is one of the most prestigious health schools that we have and one of the big players. They work with the World Economic Forum, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. It's not a conspiracy theory. They literally did that with Event 201. So they're one of the trusted names in pandemic, awareness or preparedness or whatever they want to call it. So a study by Johns Hopkins University revealed that COVID-19 lockdowns in the United States and Europe did little to save lives. The study was summarized by the following statement. While the meta-analysis concludes that lockdowns have little to no public health effects, they imposed enormous economic and social costs where they have been adopted. In consequence, lockdown policies are ill-founded and should be rejected as a pandemic policy instrument. The study by Johns Hopkins says it used a systemic search and screening procedure in which 18,590 studies are identified that could possibly address the belief posed. The study showed that lockdowns in Europe and the US reduced COVID mortality by 0.2% on average. According to the study, there is no broad-based evidence of noticeable effects on COVID mortality due to lockdowns, but obviously there's massive downsides. I don't want to spend too much time on this because I don't want to sound like a broken record. I don't want to bore you. I'm boring myself because it's like anybody that's been here with me since March 2020, we've said all this stuff. We're light years ahead of CNN. We're light years ahead of MSNBC. I'm not trying to brag like I'm my own university, but we have basic common sense. So we knew what Johns Hopkins figured out 2 years later. We've known that lockdowns are evil. We've known that lockdowns have a massive economic impact. And now that they're admitting this, think about how many times that my videos got censored or demonetized or flagged or fact checked. And I had to just tiptoe around this stuff because they're saying, fact check, lockdowns are great. Fact check, they're healthy. Facebook which it sucks because, but anyway, Facebook stock is down 20% today. I don't know what happened with their earnings, but in general, um, Facebook is taking away our right to protest against the lockdowns. They started demonizing and censoring content. Now they're doing it with trucker groups. They're deleting trucker groups. These people have become sicko authoritarians for the government. You're not allowed to organize or protest peacefully against us, against our rule, against our lockdowns, against our mandates. And they censor people for 2 years. And then 2 years later, they're like, oh yeah, John Hopkins did a study. Yeah, you were right. This is a thing. I know it's backwards on Facebook. I'm going to read it. I passed these out in my neighborhood 2 years ago, and it says, I'm just going to read some stuff in it before we get to the next topic. The truth and common sense about lockdowns. It says, this isn't the safe thing to do. People are dying. Businesses are dying. Politicians and news media are killing the country with fear. Proof inside, read and share. I put this up on my website I created, exposedlockdowns.com, to do what John Hopkins just figured out. Expose lockdowns. The benefits are very minuscule, if anything, and the consequences are huge. Let me just read a few articles because John Hopkins, we just figured this out. It took us 2 years. Well, here's my presentation from 2 years ago. Here's Washington Post. The pandemic pushes hundreds of millions of people towards starvation and poverty. That's a real headline. The Guardian. COVID set to cause 400,000 people surge in tuberculosis deaths as medics are diverted. Did COVID cause the 400,000 excess in tuberculosis deaths, or did our response to COVID do that? Because were the medics diverted because they were just so busy? Maybe. That's a possibility. Maybe the medics were diverted because they shut down elective surgeries. It's not like we didn't have doctors and nurses who couldn't find jobs. Doctors and nurses were told not to come in for elective surgeries, and a lot of people went unemployed. So, I had page after page after page after page. I don't want to go through it. All of the stats about depression, suicides, obesity, domestic abuse, domestic homicides, child abuse, missing cancer screenings going up. I had the stats here, at the time, obviously deaths per capita, one of the most lockdown countries in the world, Peru. I almost said Purdue. Peru was leading the country and, one of the highest mortality. All this information was out there. We didn't need a John Hopkins study 2 years ago. And without further ado, shame on you, Facebook. Shame on you, Google. Shame on you, YouTube. The blood is on your hands, okay? I know you like to blame Joe Rogan. I know you like to blame Tucker Carlson. The blood is on your hands, ladies and gentlemen. I don't care if you're a little blogger or some, you techie that works for, I got to censor because I work with fact checkers. Blood is on your hands, okay? You covered up this information for 2 years. We had the stats, we had the data, we had the obvious common sense, and you guys decided to go with human slavery, abuse, ignoring psychological, mental abuse, physical abuse, kicking people out of gyms. You guys deserve to go straight to hell, okay? You're lucky you get to live in this world, because if God had his way, I'm sure he's sending you straight to hell. And I'm not trying to speak on behalf of God because he does what he does, but it's like, you guys are so evil. You want to cover up, nobody can compare us to World War II. I'm going to do it 100 times. You guys are evil. You guys are sickos, and you guys have the same mindset as some of the worst people in World War II. There. Yeah, I'm not going on a Whoopi Goldberg apology tour. Sorry, I'm not Marjorie Taylor Greene. I'm not going to the museum. Sorry, I'm not Nick Cannon. I'm not going to wear a turban and interview a rabbi. Sorry, I'm not Whoopi. Okay? I don't change my name to pretend like I fit in with the crowd so I could get a gig in Hollywood. I don't need to. I'm real, okay? The people in Israel listen to me not because I changed my name to Goldberg and pretend that I'm one of them. They listen to me because I tell the truth, because I think it's sick that they have to get 4 shots in order to enter a McDonald's in Tel Aviv, okay? I don't got to pander to get my audience. So you guys should be absolutely ashamed of yourself, and I hope that these people don't employ little AI algorithms, because I want them to just feel the wrath of all the evilness that they've done to people. John Hopkins saying what we said all along: the positive impacts are minuscule, the negative impacts are obvious. You deserve to go to hell. You should be ashamed of yourself. You hurt many, many people, millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions. I don't know. Maybe we'll have to wait for a John Hopkins study in 10 years for them to figure out how many people you killed and abused psychologically that impact them for decades. Go to hell, you sickos. Stop being so jealous of Joe Rogan, and, do some push-ups, for Christ's sake. Excuse me. I did not mean to use the Lord's name in vain. I apologize. I'm a sinful person. I just, I need to stay calm, but just internalizing the pain of all the people and myself that they abused for 2 years and tried to silence us, throw a mask on our face, cut our audiences away, take away this information and say that it's not true, just to tell us it's true years later in one of the most prestigious, if not the most prestigious school studies. These people are sickos. That's why when excuse me, sir, put a mask on. Hey, you gotta follow. I'm like, I'm glad you asked me because trust me, I got a lot of information boiling up inside. So it sounds like you just got a free 10-minute anomaly rant right here in the real world. This ain't the metaverse, okay? When I'm walking around in real life, this ain't Zuckerberg's metaverse, okay? This is the real world, and I have just as many sermons as the real world as I do in the metaverse. So I'm glad you asked. Unbelievable lockdowns, Washington Times, little or no impact on COVID deaths. Yeah, but how many people suffered from child abuse, opioid abuse, fentanyl overdose, losing job, depression, tuberculosis missed cancer screenings? You know what I'm saying? How many people, the economic impacts around the world, tourist destinations, how many people did you kill? Okay. Because I'm not Whoopi Goldberg. I'm not apologizing. I'm also not an idiot. Whoopi Goldberg, I don't know who she was pleasing. I was like, nobody, like far left, far right. Everybody's looking like, what the hell is Whoopi Goldberg talking about? Like, nobody knows what Whoopi Goldberg's talking about except for Whoopi Goldberg. She's like, there's no racial impact to the, and you're like, what, lady? Like, they're offended that she said that. I'm offended that they just got offended yesterday. I've been offended by everything Whoopi said for 10 years. She's been spewing, nonsensical low IQ talking points for decades. And one of them finally stuck and woke people up, whatever. But in general, I want to know, I want to see a study of how many people died because of this. Because I'm not apologizing. I wouldn't be surprised. This is my personal opinion. When it's all said and done, I wouldn't be surprised if the lockdown organizers killed as many people as Stalin and Hitler, if not more. I think they might have killed more combined. You add up all of the people that are suffering economically, all of the excess deaths in every department, from suicides, opioids, fentanyl, depression, people that are going to be poor for decades, kids that are psychologically abused, tuberculosis screenings. There's already 400,000 people on record. Let's add up all those deaths. If ever there becomes like a real economic problem, inflation rises, people go broke. There's this, like, I would love to see how many people that you guys hurt, because we now know that your lockdowns really did virtually nothing good. It did a lot of bad. Trust me. There's a lot of bad karma coming your way. So I would find God and apologize soon, because just like the thought of all the negative karma in the universe coming your way, like the amount of people that you've hurt, the amount of people that you're still trying to hurt, it's unbelievable. And I'll pray for you too, because I believe in, peace, love, and positivity, but you can't just treat people like garbage for this long and think that your life's going to be amazing. You guys are suffering mentally, you're suffering spiritually, and may God have mercy on your sick, tainted, demonic souls. Speaking of that, CNN, Jeff Zucker resigns over consensual relationship with key lieutenant. The CEO of CNN is out. He took himself out, I guess. Let's read from no other than CNN. I thought it would be funny if we read about CNN from CNN. So I'm going to read CNN. What does CNN think about CNN? Let's see. CNN worldwide president Jeff Zucker, the influential news executive who reshaped the iconic network, announced Wednesday morning that he has resigned from his position effective immediately. Well, I'm glad CNN thinks that CNN is an iconic network, because no one else does. So I'm glad that they think so highly of themselves. They got that Kanye mindset over there. If you don't believe in yourself, nobody will. So I respect the fact that CNN thinks they've built some sort of iconic network. I mean, I guess iconic, yeah, as in like, biblical icon, like in a bad way, but whatever. Zuckerberg's stunning, Zucker's, not Zuckerberg, my bad. Zucker's stunning announcement came less than 2 months after he fired primetime anchor Chris Cuomo for improperly advising his brother for sexual misconduct allegations. And apparently, here's a quote from CNN. As part of the investigation into Chris Cuomo's tenure at CNN, I was asked about a consensual relationship with my closest colleague, someone I've worked with for more than 20 years. Zucker told people in a memo, I acknowledge the relationship evolved in recent years. I was required to disclose it when it began, and I didn't. I was wrong. As a result, I'm resigning today. So he's claiming that because of the Cuomo investigation, he was supposed to say there was a consensual relationship, and he didn't say it, so he's resigning. Yeah, I don't know if I believe that, but good luck, bro. I don't, I'm not an investigator. I don't work for I don't really, to be honest, I don't care about anybody at CNN. The last thing I want to do is follow around Brian Stelter and see where Mr. Potato Head goes in his spare time. I don't really care. Keep to yourself. Don't do anything too bad. But, we'll see what happens. I'm not going to look into your life. I don't really care about what you do, but let's hope that's what it was, because it sounds like that's a softball way to just bounce out and be like, oh yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's more, maybe there's less. I'm not trying to overhype it, but I don't know. Sounds like, okay, yeah, I just did something small. Yeah, don't look into me. Okay, bye. I'm leaving. Please don't, please don't bother me. It's like, okay, maybe that's what happened. Maybe it didn't. I'm not gonna be the one that finds out. I'm not a snooper. I don't I don't know who you are, to be honest. I don't know who you hang out with. I don't go to the same clubs as you, Don Lemon and Anderson Cooper. Thank God. God bless you. And hopefully the new CEO is not as bad as you were at doing news. I don't know really what else to say. I'm going to try to be nice. Speaking of interesting things, the Wrap.com reported surprise Tucker Carlson draws the most Democratic viewers in key demographic, even topping Rachel Maddow. Nielsen Fusion data from October shows the Fox News host audience isn't entirely conservative. So this is really embarrassing for Rachel Maddow, besides the fact that she pretty much told everybody that the vaccine was going to protect them from getting sick, which didn't happen. But, they're not even winning in Democrat demographics anymore. This is crazy. This is why they're so mad at Joe Rogan, because it's like these people have no self-awareness. They're like, climate change and Joe Rogan. Like, did climate change do that to you, CNN? Did Joe show me on the doll where Joe Rogan took your ratings away? I think you just suck at your job. I think, TikTokers dancing are more interesting than you. I'd rather watch a movie review or like a song review on YouTube. I don't want to watch your stupid network. So, as much as they try to blame Tucker Carlson and Joe Rogan, really what they're doing is trying to take away their competition because they can't compete in a free market. So the only way that they could ever be good again is if they get rid of everybody who's better than them. I mean, how pathetic is it that your own political party doesn't even watch your network anymore? You have more Democrats in this Nielsen scan rating watching Tucker Carlson. 25 to 54 Democrats are watching Tucker Carlson, according to the Wrap.com, more than other shows at his time frame. It's pretty bad for them. It's pretty good for Tucker. I'll give you some examples of why that's happening. Tucker's really funny. He's very comical. He has a lot of videos go viral because he's humorous. Everybody likes to laugh. Also, he has on good left wingers like Tulsi Gabbard, Jimmy Dore, Glenn Greenwald. These are left wingers that people actually like. You guys have circle jerks with the most psychotic neoconservative fake Republicans and the dumbest, towing the line Democrats. You're who wants to watch that garbage? I actually feel offended for myself when I watch CNN. When I listen to Whoopi Goldberg's little Jewish white person rant, I'm not going to call her anti-Semitic. I don't think she's anti-Semitic. I don't think she's racist. I just think she's stupid. And I listened to her talk and I'm thinking to myself, it reminded me of that Billy Madison. Have you guys ever seen Billy Madison with Adam Sandler, where he goes on this huge rant, everyone cheers, and then the one guy looks and he's like, everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to you. I award you no points and may God have mercy on your soul. The whole thing was it was just everyone's dumber because they listened to Billy Madison rant. That's how I felt listening to what's her name? Whoopi Goldberg. I mean, that's not her real name. That's her fake Jewish name. She chose to be cool in Hollywood. But, it's I just felt dumber. I'm what are you talking about? You're not going to offend me with a World War II take. I'm not a softie like everybody else. You could say what you want. If it's good, I might be maybe, or, but I'm just listening. I'm I felt like my IQ dropped 30 points just listening to Whoopi Goldberg. I'm what are you even trying to say? I don't even understand the angle you're coming at. I'm not offended. I'm just blown away by how dumb you are. But this is everything you say stupid. It's just, you shouldn't talk about those people because that'll get you in trouble in Hollywood. You should learn that. I mean, you should know that. You changed your last name to Goldberg. How do you not know that, Whoopi? You of all people should know how. Talk about your own people like that. Have some respect, Goldberg. My goodness. It's not her real last name. I don't care. I'm just saying. It's just funny. She's hey, guys, it's just all of us hanging out, all the Goldbergs. Is that really your last name? She's yeah, for sure. No, I'm just here. I'm just here for the audition, right? I'm just one of you. Don't be a racist. We come in all colors, out here. And no, I'm just kidding. But, jokes aside, I mean, Tucker's just better than them. Joe Rogan's better than them. Everyone's better than them. So they're spiraling and trying to take down Spotify because nobody likes their stuff. Tucker Carlson has more Democrat viewers in the best demographic for advertisers than CNN and MSNBC. It's pretty bad. It's really bad. It's actually exciting. It's actually funny. It's I don't need a Nielsen sound scan. I appreciate it. They do good work, whatever. I don't need that to be able to who do people care about, right? Who's Who's hot right now? Who has big audiences that like them? It's usually, if it's not some dingbat celebrity who just does nothing and gets people to write their songs, it's a lot of people that have like a soul and they're doing something impressive. If you're great, people will like you at a certain point. Like, Luka Doncic, like LeBron James, like his politics might not be great, but he's really good at basketball. So people like him. If you're good at something, people will like you. Tucker's better at the news than Brian Stelter. Joe Rogan's better at podcasting than anybody. Nobody likes you guys. So instead of blaming everyone else, just get better. And I want to say this real quick. I have a whole trucker video coming. I'm always working. I did a 2-hour thing earlier. I'm driving myself wild. I'm having a friend help me next month because I got 20 ideas and I only got 2 arms. But I'm working with Elon Musk to get a 4th arm so then I could use 2 computers at once, edit more content for you guys maybe next year. But jokes aside, I want to make this point really clear. The government of America, the government of Canada, I'm not mad at them for not being perfect. Nobody's perfect. Everybody makes mistakes. But the lack of humility that Justin Trudeau has, you have all these people that don't want mandates, all these people that were psychologically abused for years. Even your own voters are going psychotic. They're wearing masks. They're getting vaccines. They're mad at Joe Rogan. You're driving everybody crazy, left wing and right wing. You guys are psychotic. You need to apologize. You need to meet with the truckers and ask what they want and try to figure it out. This is what people used to do, is sit in. I don't want to work today. I want a higher wage. Everybody sits out. It's called a protest, a workers' protest. And then you get a higher wage because then this has been a part of American and Canadian society forever to be able to peacefully protest. But here's the thing. It's crazy to me that instead of being having an ounce of self-accountability, you know what? Yeah, lockdowns are pretty crazy. I understand where you're coming from. I'm going to at least talk to you. It's crazy how evil our governments are. Justin Trudeau's it's a bunch of transphobe, racist, conspiracy theorists, and we need to get rid of them. It's have a conversation with these people. You're so disgusting, Justin Trudeau. You are such a disgusting, degenerate idiot. I don't want, everybody's racist. I need to get rid of it. Talk to them. You have abused your own citizens for 2 years. The studies are out, the John Hopkins studies. I mean, you got CNN news hosts running around after 2 years of masking people, telling them that cloth masks are merely decorations, and then I get censored on YouTube for quoting a CNN host. I mean, you've been hurting people with all of these abusive policies, and now people are rightfully upset, and you don't even have a speck of accountability to be yeah, maybe we messed up a little bit. The government's destroy anybody who says we ever messed up. You are a psychopath, Justin Trudeau. You are a psychopath, Doug Ford. To be honest, Joe Biden's a full-blown psychopath. Despite how much heat I've given Donald Trump, the reason I still like Trump more than Biden is because Trump, although he bullshitted everybody for 2 years at crunch time, he's still better than you guys because after 2 years, even though he's getting old, he changed a little bit. He's talking about the truckers now. He's not blasting the vaccine in our faces every day because he actually listens somewhat and changes. Biden will never change. Justin Trudeau will never change. These people will lie to your face forever and never even have a speck of accountability. Even though Donald Trump loves himself, he's somehow still the most humble politician in mainstream. I'm not talking about any politician, but bigwigs. He's still the most humble. That Kanye West is more humble than Justin Trudeau. It's Trump is yeah, maybe I've screwed up. I'm not going to say I'm sorry, but I'm going to change my narrative a little bit. Trump's yeah, maybe I won't start a war with Syria. He's a politician that, although I don't agree with what he did, he shows you that okay, I'm listening a little bit, maybe not a lot, but I'm listening. Trudeau doesn't listen at all. He's he will literally wage a metaphorical war on the truckers before he has a conversation with them. You're such a loser, Justin Trudeau. It's a racist, homophobic, transgender event. It's no, it's not, dummy. It's truckers that don't want to be mandated of every ethnicity. That's what it is. That would be if I went to a women's march protest and found some woman pooping on the street and be they're all pooping. Yeah, all of them, it's a big poop show. They're all pooping. No, that's a homeless lady that's on crack and fentanyl shitting on the street. All of the women's march aren't shitting on the street. I went to the women's march and I said, what's this march about? What do they have in common? And I told the truth. I didn't just take one person shitting on the street and say it's a poop show. That's what they're doing about the trucker protest. It's a trucker protest. It's a protest against mandates. And Justin Trudeau is trying to act like it's a transgender, West Hollywood anti-event or something. It's you're such a freaking liar, Justin Trudeau. You have no accountability, no humility, not an ounce of anything. These people are such garbage people. And guess what? The reason that we win, the reason that I win, that my audience wins, I don't want what you have. I would never be you. You couldn't pay me $1 trillion for your power because it's not real power. It doesn't come from the truth. It doesn't come from God. Your power comes from lying all the time. You have this fragile building that you're always trying to keep afloat with words like racist, sexist, xenophobic, conspiracy theorist, anti-vaxxer, anti-Semite. That's all you have. You can't have a real conversation. You're just lying about everyone all the time. Talk to the truckers. Talk to the people of your country that Doug Ford's locking out of gyms. Like, have an ounce, not a gallon, an ounce of humility, 1 ounce, a speck, like if it were a paper, like a dot, like a little pen dot, have that much humility, you scumbags. It's crazy how evil this government is. They will literally try to wage, literal, metaphorical and systemic attacks on their own people who are desperately screaming for help because they've been abused by the government for 2 years. If I did what you did, I'd be like, listen, I'm not going to fully apologize, maybe, but I see where you're coming from, and maybe we could have done that better. The truth is out there, buddy. The lockdowns were abusive. The masking is abusive. The mandates are abusive. People are tired of your crap. There is a negative impact to all this stuff, and you simply don't care. He's literally trying to lie and shut down the trucker protests instead of talking to them. These people are just disgraceful. And that's why, although the Republican Party is stupid and fake, in my opinion, they're still better than the Democrats. Like they'll change a little bit. They'll listen a little bit. It's better than nothing. It's better than literally Joe Biden, who looks into the camera with his like black demon eyes and just like literally will tell you if you're unvaccinated, you're subhuman. It's like, bro, I had this epiphany, and it's pretty funny. I tried to think, okay, let's live in an alternate universe real quick where Joe Biden's not president. Is he fit to do any job? Could Joe Biden be a waiter? I don't think so. I don't think Joe Biden could be a waiter. Do you think Joe Biden could be a trucker? I don't think he could drive a truck. Do you think Joe Biden could be a bus driver? I don't think Joe Biden could be a bus driver. Do you think he could do landscaping? I don't think he could do landscaping. Do you think Joe Biden could literally do any job? And I'm not talking down at those jobs. They're all important. I'm just trying to think of like a job that Joe Biden could do. I don't think he could do any job in the country. If he was my waiter, I'd be like, oh, shoot, this guy's going to forget my order. If he was my bus driver, I'd be like, oh, shoot, this guy's going to crash. If he was like a real estate agent, I'd be like, dude, this guy doesn't know how to sell. Like, I literally don't think Joe Biden would be capable of doing any job in the country. So why the hell is he president? How the hell is this guy the president of the United States? I don't think he could do anything. Listen, I disagree with Donald Trump. I think he could wait tables. I think he could actually be like a host and be like, hey, how you doing? Let me show you where a table is. I don't think Joe Biden's qualified to do that. I don't think he has the mental capacity to last 8 hours at an Applebee's. So how the hell is he running the country? What is wrong with humanity that we are somehow ending up with a leader that is not capable of doing virtually any job in the country, and he has the most important job? How does this happen? As much as I like Trump more than Biden, dude, Trump's going to be like 83 by the time he's president. Listen to him talk. He's losing a step. I like Trump. I'm not trying to be mean, but it's like, what is this going to be, a battle at the nursing home? Donald Trump versus, Trump's going to win. He's better, but it's like, can we get somebody that's 60? I don't know, 40? Could you be in the NBA when you're 80? Probably not. Would you be the CEO of a company when you're 80? No, you'd probably step down. Could you even be a coach, not a player? Could you be an NFL coach at 80? No, you step down by the time you're like 73 and you go retire. Nobody does it. Like, why are these people running the country? Why are these people running our political parties? Why are we having a grandpa fight? It's like, rock'em sock'em robots, except you pick your grandpa fighter and everybody just spews at the mouth and yells Trump or Biden. Meanwhile, it's just not ideal, in my opinion. I'll vote for Trump over Biden if I really had to, for obvious reasons. But like, I'm tired of grandpa battles. Can we get like a 70-year-old? You know what I'm saying? Somebody in their early 70s? No. What other job could you last this long and like be able to like run the show? It's unbelievable. Just a thought I had. I'm like, I don't even think Joe Biden could be a waiter. I don't understand how he's the president, but Justin Trudeau could be like I could see him being like a cross-dresser at like a West Hollywood bar and something. And I'm not knocking it. Like if that's what he wants to do, I could see Trudeau's young enough. He could be like a waiter, he'd be like, hey, where's your table? It's your Indian host. It's Justin Trudeau. But, Biden, I don't think he's qualified. I'm going to get in trouble. I don't care anymore. I really don't. People are not nicer and more compassionate than they used to be. Some people, for sure. But the average person is just faker, right? If I say, oh my God, Whoopi Goldberg's an anti Semite and Roseanne's a racist, does that mean I'm a good person? No, it just means I'm fake. It just means I'm willing to toe the line to protect myself against everybody else. And I'm such a nice person. And then you could have 3 drinks and say some mean stuff to your friends. Oh, but I won't say it publicly. It's like, we're not nicer as a society than we were 10 years ago. We're way nastier, way more vicious, way more bullying. It's fake. It's all fake, you know? So I don't even care if I'm gonna get in trouble anymore because it's like I condemn them. I condemn her. I condemn. It's like shut up. No, who are you to condemn people? Speaking of which, I have a funny Brian Stelter video coming along. It's gonna be on my Instagram. It's like these people are so oblivious to what potatoes they are. All right. I'll hang out for a few. I probably will only stay for like less than 10 more minutes. So if you got any questions or comments, let me know. Someone said you got Trump waiting tables at Applebee's. Well, I'm just trying to make a comparison. I think Trump could wait tables at Applebee's. I think Trump could be a host. I don't think Joe Biden's qualified. And there's nothing wrong with working at Applebee's. I'm just saying I don't think Joe Biden can do it. Like I know many, 20 to 30-year-olds that do it. There's some 60-year-olds that do it. There's some 70-year-olds. I've had very old waitresses that were great. I just don't think Joe Biden's capable of that job. And to be honest, I don't really rock with Applebee's that much anymore because I don't know. There's none near me, I guess. And I don't know what products they're using. I don't know if their meat is real. Maybe it is, but there's this song that's like, I'm simple like Applebee's on a late. Like, have you heard that song? It's like a pop and TikTok song. The guy just like goes through all like, he's like natty and a styrofoam cup. And I'm like, bro, I get it. You're such an average guy. You drink nat. That line is cringy to me in that country song. I think it's a good song. I can see why it's a hit, but he's like, I'm simple. Like it's like, bro, who brags about natty light in a styrofoam cup? Like you're just writing bubblegum lyrics for like, no one thinks that. Even when I was like a 19-year-old or 20-year-old or whatever, and I'm drinking like natty light, I'm not like, oh, I'm balling with my natty light. Nobody thinks that. I was broke. I was a degenerate. I wasn't like, I'm balling with my styrofoam cup of natural light. Oh yeah, balling. Like no one in the country thinks that either. Like people are self-aware. They're like, yeah, let's buy natty light because it's cheap. You know what I'm saying? No one thinks like, oh, I'm crushing it today. Like, no, if you're crushing it, you get one of like the more expensive beers. You don't buy natty light. I don't know. The lyrics of that song are cringe. He's like, I'm just like you at an Applebee's with a natty light. And I'm like, we get it, dude. You had your rich friend who lives in Bel Air write lyrics like, what do people in Alabama want to hear? It's a good song, but some of the lyrics are kind of cringe. I'm just like, I could tell whoever wrote that lives in like, Bel Air or like, Hollywood Hills. You heard that song, people, or no? Someone said you on the Alex Jones show would be epic. I've heard that he's used clips of mine before. So I hear. Someone said, do some country, bro. You sound great. I might have to, but I don't want to fake an accent just to be a country star, but maybe for one song. Alcohol and styrofoam don't mix. Well, here's the point I'm trying to make. I'm not knocking him for drinking natty light in a styrofoam cup. I'm not above that. I'm just saying it like no one brags about that. He's acting like I'm being fancy tonight. I'm drinking natty light. Like even the brokest person in any state, no one's like, I'm balling off this natty. It's like, no, everybody's like, we drank natty when we were young, but we were like, yeah, I don't feel like spending $25. Let's spend $12 and get a natty light. No one was like, ballin'. We're just like, it's cheap. Like, we're poor. Like, no one's like, yeah, killing it with this natty. Like, it's like, we know the person who wrote this song is not really doing this stuff. These people are making millions of dollars. They're like, I'm eating at Applebee's. Like, maybe Applebee's guy has some fire, like, boneless wings, but it's like, it's just like, I'm just like you. I do exactly what you do. Now give me money so I could go be rich. It's like rappers are like, I'm balling. I got all this money. I waste it. And people are like, yeah, let me give them more money. I feel it. I'm like, dude, they're just like, I need a new Gucci belt. It's like, all right, I'll go to your concert. Jeez. Okay. But I get it. We all make an attempt to be relatable. It's interesting too with like TikTok songs because I feel like that song really blew up on TikTok. I saw a viral tweet that said like TikTok be making you think like these songs are fire, but it's really like 15 seconds of fire and the rest of the song is like suspect. That's what I noticed about a lot of TikTok songs. Like some of the biggest songs in the country are off of TikTok and it sounds fire. You're like, oh, this shit's crazy. And you're like, let me see how good this is. And you listen to it and that clip's like amazing. But then the rest of the song sounds like garbage where it's like, I'm not hating on it. If any musicians out here, I don't want you to be a sellout dummy, but it is interesting to learn how the landscape's going where it's like literally you used to need like a good song. Now and then you needed a good hook, right? Just get a good hook. Who cares what the rest is? Good hook. Now it's like, can you make 15 seconds interesting? It doesn't even have to be a hook. If that 15 seconds blows up, your song's going to be top 20 and nobody even cares about the rest of the song or, it's enough to get people to listen. So as a musician, it is interesting to see the landscape change. Will I ever go live on TikTok? That's a good question. I have like 122,000 followers or something. So I was thinking about that. I was like, I should go live. I don't know what it's like to go live on TikTok, but I will try it in the next 2 weeks. I've been planning on it because I'm wondering, like, will I have hundreds of viewers, 100, 1,000? I don't know. I can't tell. Someone said, does Applebee's have styrofoam cups? Well, it's not. It's a different line. He says, I'm simple like Applebee's on a date night. And then he goes to like, a natty and a styrofoam. So he's not saying in his defense, he's not drinking natty at an Applebee's. He's just trying to like go through things that you do when you're just like, I'm basically like the theme of the song is like, I'm broke, but I'm still provide for you, woman. You know what I'm saying? I'm a normal person. I might not have a lot, but I could pay for this check at Applebee's. It's a good theme to a song. I like it. The suspect lyric is just bawling on the natty. That's the only suspect lyric. It's not the fact that you have a natty, but he's not like, I'm drinking natty because I'm broke. He's like, I'm balling tonight with this natty. It's like, says no one ever anywhere. Like, I've never grown up in Georgia, but I'm guessing they're not saying that either. They're not like balling natty. They're just like, yeah, natty, it's cheap. Like, like it's fun. You're like, I'm having a night. But when you ball, you buy like the $30, you upgrade to like the better beer. You're like, yo, we're really balling off this IPA tonight. Like, you're not like balling on the cheapest alcohol there. Like that no one, no one says that, but it's okay. Greg said, I'm bored now. Well, thank you, Greg, PC Handyman. Thank you so much for announcing how bored you are. I am so sorry for failing you. Let me see. I'm like a circus clown. What can I do for you, bro? What can I do to keep you out here? Should I play harmonica? Should I dance and clap cymbals together like that, ding, ding, like that monkey that little like monkey wind up toy? What can I do to entertain you, brother? I'm so sorry. What can I do? Should I do some jumping jacks? Should I lift weights? Should I do a dance, do a handstand? Let me know. Should I talk about PCs? You're a handyman. Let me know, brother, because I would hate to lose your attention, man. I feel like I let you down. So let me know how I can, provide for you. Okay. If not, it's all good. Part ways, I'm sure your presence will be sorely missed. Jim said, stop talking. You are lowering the IQ of your listener. Jim, bro, thank you so much, Jim. You're so smart, dog. We appreciate it here, Jim. Thank you so much, brother. We have I'm really stupid. So like when someone of your IQ comes in, you lift me up. Like I feel like I just sat through a 6-hour 1975 Noam Chomsky, sermon. Like I'm just soaking it up. I feel like Sheryl Crow soaking up the sun. I want to soak up the sun. That's like me, except the sun is your IQ and I'm just soaking it up. So thank you so much, brother, for your intelligence. We appreciate you here. Us dummies we have a lot to learn. So thank you so much for your, providing so much IQ points to here. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate that. I will reflect on, the intelligence level of my conversations. Thank you. God bless you, my man. Someone named Nasty Pig on YouTube said, Anomaly, will you show us our feet, please? This is getting weird. Like, I feel like it's like 3 a.m. and I'm like tripping at like at like a circus or something. Y'all are tripping me out. It's like, can you show us our feet, please? This is too dumb. Like, I'm leaving. I'm a handyman. Like, I feel like I'm trapped in some weird, like I went out too late or something. I couldn't catch an Uber and there's just like, circus, like Miley Cyrus is like naked in the corner with her tongue out. And I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have got so drunk tonight. That's what you guys are making me feel like. Cause it's like, show me your feet. Like, I don't like you. I'm like, are we in the same metaverse right now? Cause I don't remember talking about any of this stuff. And it's an open platform. You don't have to conform to what I want you to say, but at the same time, I'm starting to feel unwelcome in my own world. But thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna take off. I have a few things to do. I have a whole video to edit. I have like 3 videos to edit. This is my life. I wake up and I'm already tired when I wake up because I'm always like, I got to do all this stuff. But it's okay. Life is good. There's ups and downs, and I just got a lot of work to do. So that's what it is. Appreciate it. Jason said, shave your head. There will be a day when I shave my head, my guy. It's just, is it today? Probably not. Maybe it'll take a comment like yours. You're like, shave your head, and maybe I go crazy. I pull a Britney Spears. I'm like, all right, you win, paparazzi. And I shave my head right on the live stream just for you. Today's not the day, but that's a possibility. I might go full Britney Spears, because life has not been the same. When Trump said make America great again, he wasn't, what's he talking about? Slavery? No. What's he talking about? Before segregation? No. What Trump was talking about was make America great again. Britney Spears era. Think, Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, so much competition, American culture, killing it. Me at 7th grade dancing to I Want It That Way. That's what Trump was trying to talk about, make America great again. So that's why I'm trying to bring it back to the Britney Spears era. If I have to shave my head just to give you guys a little reminiscence of a Justin Timberlake jean jacket, then I'll do what I got to do. So, I appreciate the feedback, and we will make America great again. We'll bring back the Britney Spears era, and hopefully, we can have an American boy band start to compete with BTS, because it's, I'm not anti-Asian, just to let you know. I'm not anti-K-pop. I love Koreans, but it's getting a little crazy. There needs to be an make America great again. We need a BTS to rival the K-pop band. You probably don't even know who BTS is, but your kids have like 7 posters of them. They're like crying when they enter the room. Seriously. When I lived in Hollywood, there would be lines across Hollywood. I'm like, what the hell are all these lines here for? And literally people like BTS. I'm like, who's BTS? And these it's like 6 like Koreans that come out on stage and they're like, hey, welcome America. And like everyone's like, ah, and they're like crying. Like you got like 15-year-old girls like jumping on fences. And I'm just like, what the hell is going on here? They love these people, like get like 100 million streams every time. So, we will be great again in America. We love BTS. We love our Koreans, but we need a new One Direction out here. If we want to be great, we need to, we're losing the steel market. We're losing the military industrial complex. Big pharma we have, but big pharma sucks. We've definitely lost the boy band circuit. So we got to, bring manufacturing home, but also, craft a great boy band to compete with, BTS. I'm semi joking, but I'm actually totally serious, because it's like, if we lose the boy band circuit, it's not going to be pretty. This whole country is going to follow that. It's like, I think Andrew Breitbart used to say that it goes upstream from the boy bands. No, I'm just kidding. He didn't say that. I butchered his quote, but you get it. All right. Appreciate y'all. Have a good day. And I apologize to 3 people that I didn't entertain. I think everyone else liked it, but whatever. I had fun. Eric said, I'm just hearing blah, 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 blah. Are you trying to make me mad before I leave? Are you trying to make me have a little conniption? I'm just hearing blah, 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 blah. Maybe you have tinnitus then, bro. Maybe it's not me. Maybe it's your tinnitus. You're like, I'm hearing ringing anomaly. I'm like, go to the ear doctor, bro. Because that's not how the ears are supposed. So if you're hearing blah, 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 there's 2 options. Something's wrong with your ears. Maybe you're getting old and you got the TV blaring with Charlie Brown and it's stuck on the teacher loop, which like, wah, 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 and you're like blaming me because you can't hear well. So you got to figure that out, because there's a lot going on here. It's not just wah, 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 wah. So you got to, that sounds like a personal issue. And if it's tinnitus, it's definitely worth a talk with a local physician, because this is not a medical program. So appreciate y'all. God bless you. Have a good week. And I appreciate the 5 people that get upset. You make the stream much more fun. I appreciate it.